Hey guys, new Primitive War trailer just dropped today, and I'm all set here, my Utah Raptor t-shirt to talk about it because we have got some seriously cool things to go over in this. First off, production value, special effects, shots on location, everything, all that looks fantastic considering this film has a minuscule budget. If you didn't know, this is an independent film, and it's probably one of the best looking independent films I have seen just from the trailers alone in terms of just how good it looks. But that's not really what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about the main stars of this film, the dinosaurs. When the novel of Primitive War was released, it was really kind of a special thing for the paleo community to see. This was dinosaurs in a way we hadn't quite seen them before. And many of these dinosaurs and more seem to have made it over into the film adaptation, including the most infamous dinosaur from these books, the Utah Raptors. They are perhaps some of the most accurate dinosaurs ever to be put in this kind of film, like a horror film or action film. They look to have a lovely coat of feathers, and hopefully, if they use those feathers like they did in the books, it's going to create some really tense and awesome, horrific scenes there. I'm really looking forward to seeing these guys in action. But we also get clear shots of the T Rexes in this film. And this is a bit of an interesting one, it's kind of a blend of, kind of typical T Rex isms from movies, with also with some accuracy as well. Overall, I really like the design. I like the fact that it has lips. I like the fact that it has some quills and proto feathers on it. And from this shot right here, I really love the coloration that looks to be present on this animal. And we have what I think is unanimously agreed throughout the Primitive War fan community, what is the most horrific creature from the books, and that is the Quetzalcoatlus making its appearance in this film. And they look fantastic. I cannot wait to see these guys. However, the Quetzalcoatlus kind of holds claim to some of the most gruesome depictions of dinosaur horror I have ever read in a book. To give you an idea what that horror is like, recently the Grand Myth released an album, The Devils of Vulture Valley, and they've got a song called Agony, very fitting, that is kind of based around the scenes with the Quetzalcoatlus in the book. And I'm just going to play a little bit right here to kind of convey what it's like to be killed by one of these things. You get the idea. And speaking of that, if you are a fan of heavy metal, definitely check out this album, The Devils of Vulture Valley by The Grand Myth. In fact, fellow Dino Tubers, Dino Facts and the Dino Guy actually make a little appearance on this album. And this cover art is just absolutely sick. Love it. It's beautiful. Speaking of sick, back to Quetzalcoatlus. Yeah, these creatures are really, really nasty in the book, and I think this is going to be the first time we see on film, just how crazy these creatures are. As dark pterosaurs, some of them were absolutely enormous, such as Quetzalcoatlus, Hatzegopteryx, and we've seen in some documentaries, the lethality of these animals when they hunt, along with just, the fact that they're so big yet can fly, how that's we don't really have a comparison for that nowadays, outside of creatures of myth. And we haven't really seen it, really well explored in a film up to this point. So I'm really excited to see this. There are some other creatures we see throughout the trailer as well, including these hadrosaurs. We've got what looks to be sauropod dinosaurs as well, maybe even an amargasaurus in this river scene here. However, also in this river scene, we have a creature that wasn't in the books, and that is the Spinosaurus, and it's an absolutely fantastic looking Spinosaurus model. Every paleo fan saying in 2025 year to Spinosaurus, and I couldn't agree more. It has been a fantastic year for Spinosaurus fans. From my understanding, they will be replacing the Caprisuchus from the novels. That's kind of unfortunate. I think Caprisuchus is a really cool animal. However, as much as I am a fan of Caprisuchus, I am a bigger Spinosaurus fan, I must say. So, yeah, it's a little bit bittersweet, but still going to be great to see. And they look absolutely fantastic. Got that beautiful paddle tail that we now know Spinosaurus had. And even the skull shape looks pretty solid for these animals, I have to say. It's just overall looks to be a great design. But what was probably, I think, outside of the amazing dinosaur action and horror, what really stuck with people about Primitive War was that, it had its human characters at its core, and they were pretty well written human characters, you really empathized with them. And it really did a lot to kind of highlight what you would, and unfortunately, or sorry, fortunately, a lot of us can only imagine what the oppressive atmosphere of being involved in the Vietnam War was been, even just, making your way through those jungles. Thankfully, many of us nowadays can't even imagine what that was like, but Ethan Pettis really gets across in the book what that was like, before even the dinosaur aspect comes into it there. And that just adds another layer of horror on top of what was already a very horrific situation for many people to be in. And I hope we don't lose that from the movie. This trailer does highlight a lot of the dino action, a lot of the horror elements in it as well. To the backdrop of Fortunate Son, has to be in there. Vietnam film, great song, Creedence Clearwater Revival. However, I'm really excited and hopeful to see if we get, the kind of tone that was in the books, see if that translates over to the movie. I have no idea if this is releasing in Irish theaters yet. I hope to goodness it does, at least, and I know it's really select theaters that is releasing in the United States, in the UK, and even Australia and all that there, so I'm hoping that we get at least one theater showing over here in Ireland, because I can guarantee it will be a nice full theater. There's plenty of us dino fans over here that would love to see this movie. So yeah, Primitive War. Love the books. Very excited to see how the film turns out. And if you guys do like dinosaur action, horror, and adventure books, feel free to check out my own book, which is Bygone Dawn, which there'll be a link in the description for. You get to see many prehistoric beasties blended in interesting different ways. You get to see these two handsome fellas right here, and many more. And that is my shameless plug over, and I'll see you guys on the next one.